Watch out, everyone. This is your warning. Uncle KC is giving you plenty of time to prepare because Angel Reese is about to explode.
Here we go again. Angel Reese is suddenly furious over her first questionable call from WNBA officials, and now it's being treated like some historic injustice. But where was this outrage before? Does she not realize that Caitlin Clark has been on the receiving end of these same blown calls all season? Clark has taken hard hits, dealt with inconsistent officiating, and even battled injuries while the silence from others was deafening. Now that the spotlight shifts, it's a crisis? The inconsistency isn't new, it's just finally affecting someone who didn't speak up before.
Welcome if you're new. Angel Reese, man, she ended up stepping into this presser right here and just going off on this ref. And I have to agree, man, if the ref really said this to her,
I think we fought really hard. It's tough when you talk to officials and I asked them, hey, we only shot 2 free throws. We only went to the free throw line twice up into the fourth quarter, and she tells me it's not her job.
Angel Reese is going off on social media and doubling down in her press conference, acting like she's the first player in WNBA history to ever get a bad whistle. Suddenly it's a full-blown controversy. But where has that energy been all season? The Indiana Fever have been dealing with questionable officiating game after game, watching their superstar take hit after hit while the refs keep their whistles silent. No outrage, no viral speeches, just business as usual. But the moment it happens to Chicago's golden favorite, now it's a crisis. Now it's press conference headlines. The inconsistency isn't new. What's new is who it's happening to.
Game, but Angel Reese did make history again, and we're gonna talk about this real quick because Angel Reese been kind of quiet in her department. You know what I'm saying? There ain't really been a whole lot of noise. At least people really haven't been paying attention to it. That is until today. Yesterday, Angel Reese, said what she said.
It's tough when you're talking to officials, and I'm asking, we've only been to the free throw line twice all game. How is that possible? And she tells me it's not her job, Reese said. And honestly, I don't care if I get fined for saying this. That's cheap. I've tried to be respectful. I've tried to stay humble about it. But I'm tired of this.
Frustrating because I know how hard we're battling inside. And I think that we came down and fought as hard as we could with what we had. And I just know we continue to grow in this. And I think this is a leaping step for us. And obviously we know we can compete with the best. But that has to be fixed. And I don't give a damn if I get fined because that's cheap. And I am tired of this because I've been nice and I've been humble with it. But I am tired.
Oh, you've been nice and humble? Interesting. Because that energy was nowhere to be found when Caitlin Clark was getting leveled by reckless fouls all season long. The hypocrisy is hard to ignore. Reese jumps on social media calling the officiating diabolical and demanding the league do better. But when Clark was taking cheap shots night after night, when defenders were clearly trying to make a statement at her expense, there wasn't a word. No outrage. No viral posts. No passionate speeches. Now that the whistle doesn't go her way, suddenly it's a league-wide crisis? The problem isn't new. The only thing that changed is who it's affecting.
Throughout her first 2 years in the WNBA, Angel Reese has been the same way. On paper, the double-double diva looks great, but just like Derek Carr, Angel Reese does not impact
winning.
Since the Bayou Barbie became the Chi-Town Barbie, the Chicago Bravado are 18-39. They have been one of the worst teams in a league that is filled with bad teams. And oftentimes, Angel Reese will blame everyone but herself for her huge embarrassment.
Let's break down what actually happened. In Chicago's 80-75 loss to Minnesota, the Sky attempted just 8 free throws compared to Minnesota's 17. Angel Reese finished with 16 points on 16 shot attempts, almost all of them in the paint, and only went to the line twice. Is that frustrating? Absolutely. Any player who lives in the paint expects contact to be rewarded. But now zoom out. Compare that to what Caitlin Clark has dealt with all season long, getting hammered on drives, absorbing constant physical contact, taking hits that would make NFL players wince, and watching officials let it slide. Game after game. No emergency press conferences. No league-wide outrage. Bad officiating isn't new. The real debate is about consistency and whether the reaction depends on who's being affected.
It's a problem. It's a problem, man. The ref calls are terrible, all right? And also, I know that they're human. Y'all hear me say that every time. But they have to do something to alleviate how bad the calls are, man. It's not fair most of the time across the board. And we know the players that have the special whistle. Now, we saw it for sure in that Aces game. Oh my goodness, man. It was ridiculous, man. But anyway, man, I feel Angel Reese's pain on that one. She did have some plays where I was like, she probably could have got a foul in that one. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, it just didn't go there.
If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure you subscribe. Now here's the part that makes this even more interesting. Something arguably worse happened to Sydney Carlson. She made a completely clean play on the ball, textbook steal, and somehow got called for a foul. The refs looked at a perfect defensive possession and still blew the whistle. But you know what Carlson did? She calmly asked for a challenge. The call got overturned, and she moved on. No social media rant. No dramatic press conference. No speeches about injustice. Meanwhile, Angel Reese gets one call that doesn't go her way. And suddenly it's an all-out indictment of the entire officiating system. That's the difference people are noticing. When this happens to other players, they're expected to adjust and keep playing. There's no sympathy tour. No viral outrage campaign. No basketball world rushing to defend them over a single whistle. Bad calls happen. The real question is why the reaction seems to depend entirely on who it happens to.
So Angel Reese comes out and she decides to, in her press conference after the game that they lost the other day, to talk about the officials and how they're not calling the fouls. And she was complaining about how, to the official, how she, is not going to the free throw line. There's not been enough of them going to the free throw line because they're not.
Or take Caitlin Clark's situation. She hasn't just dealt with a missed call here or there, she's been sidelined. She's missed games this season after absorbing constant physical punishment, much of it going uncalled by the same officials now under fire. Groin injuries, quad strains, relentless contact on nearly every drive. The kind of hits that would have most players shaken up for weeks. And yet the whistle stayed quiet. So where was the outrage then? Where was the press conference demanding better protection for players? Where were the viral posts calling the officiating diabolical? Clark didn't deserve the reckless fouls she's taken all season. The clips are everywhere. Late contests, hard body checks, dangerous plays that were allowed to continue. And still she kept playing. Even when injured, even from the bench, she's been seen arguing her case because she knows the officiating hasn't been consistent. Bad calls are part of the game. But sustained physical punishment without accountability? That's a bigger conversation, and it didn't start this week.
Numbers. Now her fans is also voicing frustration about the way Angel Reese is actually being treated and handled on the basketball court, bro. They're not liking these type of plays. It's an embarrassing by the WNBA. We're not going to tolerate the harassment and the attack. They're basically saying it's an attack on Angel Reese, but they're just really boxing her out, trying to get the rebounds because they know she's going to do everything in her business to try to get the damn rebound.
Angel Reese never publicly stepped up to defend Caitlin Clark. No tweet. No press conference. No comments about the obvious physical play Clark has endured while helping bring unprecedented attention to the league. The silence didn't go unnoticed, and now that contrast is what people are reacting to. Because when Clark was taking hard fouls from Connecticut, absorbing elbows on drives, getting knocked to the floor by defenders who couldn't stay in front of her, there wasn't a league-wide uproar from fellow stars. There wasn't a coordinated push demanding officiating reform. Now one call goes the other way and suddenly the entire system is under indictment. Here's the thing, officiating consistency absolutely matters. If referees are missing calls, that needs to be addressed. If players aren't being protected properly, that's a serious issue. But fans are questioning the timing and the selectiveness of the outrage. Where was this same public passion when Clark was dealing with questionable no calls? Where was this energy when Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White was picking up technical fouls for arguing obvious missed contact? That's why people are calling it a double standard. It's not about whether bad calls exist. They clearly do. It's about why the volume of the reaction seems to depend entirely on who the whistle affects.